For many, this parking lot is a dream. At the United Aviate Academy, student pilots gain a year-long training with hands-on experience in the sky. Ricky Foster is among the first upcoming graduating class.
I am a mother of two. I'm 38 years old. My son is 17 and my daughter is 6. I'm a former flight attendant. I was a flight attendant for over 10 years, and that's how I fell in love with aviation.
From the classroom to the air, this academy is a fast track to getting hired as a United pilot.
So we take people from 0 hours, so someone who's never flown in a small airplane before, and we're going to make them a professional pilot. It happens over the course of about 9 months or so, 9 to 12 months, from 0 hours to fully certified professional pilot.
Captain Curtis Brunges oversees the training at the academy and says the school started at an important time.
We find ourselves right now in a moment when our demand for pilots in the industry is exceeding the supply of pilots.
That demand also means changing the demographic of pilots to better represent the population.
This has been a male-dominated field for a very long time, and it's predominantly white men. Well, our passengers don't necessarily look like that, and the workplace environment as a whole don't even look like that. So we're changing it, and I'm a part of that change.
But this opportunity didn't always seem like a reality for Foster. It became possible through United's scholarship funds and the school's free private pilot training that's normally $17,000. But ultimately, it wasn't until her daughter gave her a push to become a pilot.
She's just so sure that because I said I wanted it, it's going to happen. It's a beautiful thing, and I want every child to feel that way about their dreams. They're just going to go for it. They won't even stop to think that there's nobody who looks like me that does this.
Foster says she's breaking down many barriers, and she's grateful to be a role model for her young daughter.
But what she will learn from watching me is that she can be anything she wants to be. She can accomplish any goal. And there are barriers, of course, but there's always ways to overcome them.
Dana, thanks for joining us. First, what are some of the barriers to entry to getting a career in aviation, becoming that captain on a plane that some kids dream about?
There's various barriers to entry. The one barrier is financial. A lot of people can't afford to get into aviation training just because it's very expensive when it comes to renting the aircraft, purchasing the fuel, having the experienced flight instructor. There's a lot of costs that go into learning to become a pilot. Other barriers to entry that we tend to talk about, but it's really not widely known, is the lack of outreach and awareness. We need to talk to youth at a younger age to show them all the opportunities that aviation has to offer.
So what is Aviate trying to do to solve some of these problems? I mean, you created this academy before this pilot shortage that people are aware of now.
So United Aviate Academy is reaching out to our youth. We're working with nonprofit organizations that are well established in aviation. United has, assisted in the outreach and awareness by working with industry partners. It's really making sure that we're connecting people in education and aviation.
For example, let's tackle financial costs. If that's the barrier, what does the Aviate Academy do?
Well, we're investing in our students, which means we are giving them the highest technology. We're providing them iPads. We're providing them Bose headsets. We're providing them United curriculum. So our goal is to take the Part 121 environment and put it in a Part 141 training environment. And we're not passing those costs off to the students. So we are charging them tuition to attend our academy. But the cost of going through our training academy is worth every penny in the fact that they're receiving this high quality of training. Additionally, we're working with the nonprofit organizations, and United and JP Morgan Chase have come up with over $2 million to provide scholarships to those wanting to come through the academy.
If you think about this kind of in a strategic initiative in terms of the employer, why is it important for United to essentially supplement the private marketplace with this kind of an academy to ensure a steady pipeline of talent?
It's all about the quality of training. There are several Part 141 and Part 61 flight schools out there, and I don't look at us as a competitor. I look at us as contributing to the environment. We need to build quality pilots. In order to build quality pilots, we need a variety of flight schools out there that can provide that level of quality training. So it makes sense for United to take what they want to see out of their pilots and put it into an educational training environment.
You know, we talk about pilots, but obviously it takes a lot more people to get an aircraft up into the air and have a safe trip for passengers. So what are you doing on the mechanics front or all of the other types of positions that United has? What do you do? Do you create academies in each category? Do you create apprenticeship programs?
United Airlines has done a great job in merging industry into education. So I oversee United Aviate Academy, which is the pilot pathway program to United. We're the academy that's training the pilots. United has done other things to create apprenticeship programs by creating an aviation maintenance technician program called Calibrate. And again, it's really about outreach and awareness. As we go out into these high schools and elementary schools and different environments to recruit, we're talking about all careers. Our goal is to bring on pilots, but it's really to create that awareness that aviation has a variety of careers.
What kinds of barriers exist from, say, for example, the regulating body, from the FAA? I mean, to become a pilot and to address the shortage that we have, are there changes necessary in how we think about training and how we think about who can be a pilot?
I think that's a great question. I think that there's always ways to improve. I think that a lot of the regulations associated with the FAA might need to be looked at as technology gets better. So several regulations have changed over the years where technologically advanced aircraft are maybe better to fly because it provides a variety of learning platforms than the antiquated aircraft. So the FAA is working as quickly as they possibly can to insert the new technology into the training platform. And then there's always the discussion of the 1,500-hour rule and how pilots will gain those hours to move on to the airlines. But overall, our goal is to create a high-quality pilot, and we're doing that here at United Aviate Academy.
So let's talk a little bit about who comes in and traditionally who has come in and become a pilot and what you're targeting when it comes to the students that you're recruiting here, the folks that you're reaching out to that perhaps didn't see this career as a possibility.
We have a variety of students from a variety of backgrounds, and it's actually really cool to see them come here on campus. The camaraderie here, I wish you were here on campus to see it. The camaraderie is amazing. And, we have athletes, we have college graduates, we have high school graduates, we have second careers. It's just amazing to see that this opportunity is available for those that want to work hard and achieve this goal. The type of people that we're looking for are people that are coachable, that are self-starters, highly motivated. Sometimes it's not, being the math and science genius that I think people think that pilots are, but it comes down to those really, really passionate about putting in the hard work and understanding what's required to become a United Airline pilot and to put those skills into place to make sure that they can achieve their goals.
Let me just ask, how did you get into aviation in the first place?
I had a really great opportunity. I grew up in the military. I'm a military brat, and I was 15 years old and boarded a KC-135, a military hop, to go to Germany. And I was boarding the airplane, and I was looking up at the flight deck, and one of the crew members asked my parents, "Hey, do you mind if she sits up there for takeoff and landing?" I didn't leave the flight deck. I think they were probably annoyed with me. But it was just that one experience. And when we landed, I was like, "Where did you all go to college? I want to do this, as a career." And they provided me their colleges. I took that same road, to get into aviation. I decided not to go the military route. I went the airline route and became an airline pilot.
So I've got to ask, you're not that old, but what have you noticed? What have you noticed as a change from the time that you went into flight school, so to speak, versus today? Because when you were there, I'm assuming the class wasn't 50-50 or overwhelmingly female.
Not at all. There was I was one of two females in my classes, and I think I very quickly adapted to that environment, and that seemed to be the the look of the classroom through initial training, through captain upgrade, all those different classes. It didn't hold me back. It didn't intimidate me. It just, kind of became a chameleon and, had to do what I had to do to get to that next step. But here, I think where aviation is today is it's an environment that everybody's looking back to help that next generation come through. I see a lot of people wanting to mentor and wanting to provide assistance of some sort to that next generation. And not that I didn't see it, but it wasn't in my face, when I went through college. It was just something that, you kind of had to figure out the path all by yourself. So I think that that's, one of the improvements that we're seeing now in aviation.
And has anything changed in terms of instruction or interviewing when it comes to how much of it is virtual versus how much of it is in person, what people might be able to do at home? Kind of accelerated by the pandemic.
Yeah, so all of our studies here are in person. When it comes to the application process, there are things that they can do, from their home. But overall, our students are here on campus. They're interacting with our instructors. They're flying the airplanes. And I think, maybe the pandemic has actually emphasized the need for camaraderie in a way. So everybody here, we're truly like one big family. So it's just a really great environment to see all the students supporting the students throughout the progress of their studies.
Dana Donati from United Aviate, thanks so much.
Thank you.